Hey guys, we wanted to take just a second to point you towards our men's and women's Bible study and what that's going to look like and what we're going to be going through and all of that. So, up front, we'll tell you we're going to go through the second half of the book of Romans. And so, what's happening in the book of Romans through the first half of the book is that really we get this picture of the gospel of what God has done through Jesus, of the way that He's worked in that to bring us into a relationship with Himself. And then in the second half of the book, there begins to be a little bit of a shift to where he begins to say, because God has done this, here's how this impacts you and here's how this impacts your life. And the reason that we wanted to go through and do this and go through a book like Romans and just a book of the Bible is, first of all, that one of our values is biblical integrity. And for us, what we mean when we say that is that the Bible becomes our guide. It becomes the thing that tells us what's true and what's not true. It begins to tell us how all that God has done impacts our life. And so we want to look at that as our source of truth. But second, we know that we all come in different places in the midst of this journey. And so some of you are coming in, and for years you've been reading the Bible. It's been a regular part of your life. And for others of you, you've either never really been able to take that step and do that. You've been intimidated by it, or maybe you've tried, but you just haven't understood a whole lot about it. So one of our goals out of this is that as we work through this, that it would begin, you would begin to be able to see what it looks like to read the Bible on your own. Our goal would be to help you get on your feet to where you feel like you can go home and read God's Word on your own, because that's going to be an incredible, valuable thing for you in your life, in your walk with God, and getting to know Him. So Holly's going to explain a little bit of just the practical, what this looks like, what the book looks like, how we're going to work through that together, and then we'll go from there and hope to see you when we get started next week.
Yeah, so what we have is on Sunday mornings, we have these books available. They're really short and they're going to be $5. And what they are is we're going to go through 6 different lessons. And every week, we're going to meet at Starbucks, the one by Chick-fil-A in Centerra, from 8 to 9:30. And what we'll do is before you come, you will have done the homework, which is not a lot. It's about six pages or so a week in this pretty small book, and it'll take you through about a chapter of Romans. And what you'll do is you'll go through, you'll answer these questions, and we'll get together and we'll talk through our answers to the questions. We'll also talk through any questions you have. So if you have any questions or any parts of Romans that's like really confusing you, make sure you circle that, put a star, and we'll talk through that. So we'll go through that together. And then there'll also be a pretty small, short time of teaching from whoever's leading that day. Unlike in the past where we had videos to watch, we won't have that this time, but that's going to be totally fine. We're just going to be doing it a little bit different, but in some ways pretty similar. The weeks are not divided up by days, so you're going to have to pace yourself however that might look. Either you could do it all in one sitting, or you can break it up to do every day. But you have 2 weeks to do it, so I think it's totally doable. I would really encourage, if you are going to be a part of this, I'd encourage you to read through or listen to the whole book of Romans, and do that often. As we're doing this study, not just at the beginning, but constantly be immersing yourself in what it says. And I think you're going to get a lot from it. When people come to us and they're saying, I want to grow in my walk with God, I want to go deeper with Him, I want to take these next steps, my encouragement is always to know God's Word. Like, that is where growth happens, because that's where we hear from God. In Psalm 119, it talks about how God's Word guides our steps. It is a treasure. And so we just pray that through this study that you would grow to treasure and love God's Word beyond even this study. I think it's going to be really great. Something we're really excited about is that the men and women are going to be doing the same thing at the same time. So if you are married or engaged or dating someone who is going through this study at the same time as you, it'd give you a really great opportunity to talk about what you're learning and to encourage each other. So really would encourage families and spouses to do this together. It's going to be a really great time for our church. We are really excited about it. If you have any questions, you can let AJ or I know. And like AJ said too, it doesn't matter what your background is in the Bible. Anybody can do this. And so I'd encourage you, if you're feeling a little intimidated or scared because you feel like you don't know how to read the Bible, this is such a great place to start. Anybody can do this. And I think you're going to walk away from this really excited and really just really propelled forward in your faith and in knowing how to read God's Word. So anyways, if you need a book, we'll have them on Sundays for $5. We can order more when we run out. And so, yeah, or if you want to get them earlier, just let us know and we will see you. The guys will start next week.
Yep, the guys will start next
Yep.
Wednesday. The ladies will be the next week. We'll alternate each week.
Yeah.
So that way we're all working through it together. So we're excited about this. We hope to see you there.
Okay.